Let's take your customization and control to the next level. The next feature I'm going to be talking about is the custom toolbar. Now, when I refer to toolbar, I'm talking about this element located here on the left-hand side. Of course, you're well familiar with this. This is your ability. When I say your facilitators, members, and visitors are like ability to add content to the canvas. So your sticky notes, text, shapes, icons, everything lives in this little toolbar and allows people to collaborate and interact and add content to the canvas. However, as a facilitator, from time to time, you require people to only use a certain element in that toolbar. Of course, you can instruct them to do so. So for, let's say you're running a brainstorm activity where you want people to only use sticky notes to respond to the prompt, or perhaps only icons, for example, you can instruct that, but you can make it even easier for your fellow collaborators by controlling what shows up in this toolbar. Now, how do you do that? Now, if you go to the top here where all your facilitation tool features live, you'll see that there's a little toolbox over here. And this is how you actually go ahead and actually control what shows up in this toolbar on the left-hand side here. So I'm going to click on that, open that up. And then what you'll notice here is that there's a whole bunch of check boxes here that corresponds with the elements that are located here in your custom toolbar. Pretty obvious, right? But there's a few little quirks that I want to point out. First of all, to activate this feature, you need to toggle this feature on. And I want you to take note of two things. First of all, this little blue mark here shows you that the custom toolbar is indeed active, but there's also a visual indicator here at the top that shows you that the custom toolbar is actually in place. And there's a very good reason for that. However, let's get into the base functionality. So in my example, I said, listen, let's create an exercise where we only want people to have access to the icons. So as easy as that, I go in and I switch all the elements off, but I want you to take note that you can't actually see anything happening on the left-hand side there. However, I am actually changing the navigation bar, and I'll prove to you that that is true. So let's say I'm doing an exercise where I only want to do icons and images, and I want to preview what other people are currently seeing in the canvas. I click on the preview element here located in this dropdown. So when I activate that, indeed, only the images and icons are visible. And this is what people are currently seeing in the canvas right now. Now, I mentioned that I only wanted to use icons, so I can, of course, go and toggle the images off, and you'll see that the image icon has now disappeared. I can then add images or elements to that navigation bar, and the toolbar will then update accordingly. I can also interact with the canvas and continue with my business and work like everybody is working. But as a facilitator, I have the ability to actually have access to the full toolbar. This is when I go out of exit. You'll notice that I now have, as a facilitator, access to all the elements on the toolbar, so I can cheat and use everything. But I want you to take note, the custom toolbar is still active. The way I know this is by the little icon here at the top right corner. The custom toolbar is still active, and people who are using the canvas at the moment can only see, if I go into preview, the elements that are currently here on this toolbar here. The reason I'm highlighting this is that from time to time, people use the custom toolbar, and forget to switch off the toolbar. Don't worry, your fellow collaborators will remind you if that happens. Now, back to the point. Now, if you want to switch off the custom toolbar and go back to its default state, the only thing you have to do is go here, toggle this off. You'll see the state here also changes, and now you're back to normal usage of the custom toolbar. And that is how easy it is to just modify the toolbar and make it interesting for people using your canvas.